my life is tough at the moment and it will get better. But it never did. It got worse and worse and worse.
Karlijn, how did you find Carnivore?
Oh, that goes a long way back. Um, I am on the carnivore diet now just for a short time. But from early on, I learned to numb my emotions with sugars and carbs. Every time I did a lot of sports till I was 40, I'm now 51. And with those doing sports, I became injured a lot. Ankle bruises, stuff like that. Nothing really serious. But every time I had an injury, my mom said, well, we have to go to the doctor. Okay, you have to be in a cast or on crutches or something else. Let's go find a nice piece of cake somewhere, or here you have a cookie, or something like that. Um, well, like many people, I had a childhood that was, well, let's say rocky. Um, Not very stable, in my opinion. So my own feeling about that as a child was that um, I had to take care of myself. Not literally, because my mom was at home all the time and cooking, but I always had the feeling it's me, myself, and I, and nobody's caring for me. And so from that came pain and trauma. And I learned you can numb that pain with cookies and sweets. And so I had the solution. But because of doing a lot of sports, um, I could keep my weight very healthy. As a child, I was never overweight. I am a tall girl. I am even my wrist and stuff like that. I could never wear those nice child bracelets or something like that because I couldn't get them over my hands. My bone structure is a little bit bigger than normally. And doing all those sports, when I was 16, all the women in my family had thyroid issues. So when I was 16 years old, I went to the doctor and I told him, well, all the women in my family have thyroid issues. I want that to be checked because I believe I have thyroid issues. Um, there's no physical evidence for me really having thyroid issues, so probably I energetically created that for myself. But I said, every woman in my family has that, so I have to have that too. And yes, the blood work showed I have thyroid issues. So from 16 years old, I went on the medication. Later on, when I was a little bit older, I was diagnosed with Hashimotos. And from the age of, well, I would say 2021, did several studies for the physical, the body, and I became a skin therapist later on, but also worked energetically um, and did a lot of um, well, helping my clients with dealing with the skin issues from the inside out. So with food supplements, but also shiatsu, stuff like that. It's total combination. In that time, we're talking about mid 90s. You can call it a holistic approach for a therapist. But I was not looking at myself. I could feel with other people, um, you're having um, issues with your stomach, or I even knew when my clients were pregnant before they knew, um, just by feeling into it. And but I shut down as a child completely my inner connection with myself because of the trauma and all the carbs I was eating. And during the years, I get more and more, well, not clear in my head, um, lack of mental stability. And during those years, there was some depression, a burnout, gaining weight, and I never went on a diet or something like that. I just went back to doing sports 5 6 days a week, hardcore, getting nauseous of the sports field and going really deep, and that helped gaining my weight, or increase, getting rid of the weight, the extra weight I was carrying. In When I was 40, I became a mom, and from the time I was pregnant, it became clear that I would be a single mom. Um, the dad disappeared at our lives, and I was always an entrepreneur. Few years here and there, I said, well, I'm not feeling well. I'm going to work for a boss. It's more stable, it's more calm. And then later on, I said, I can't do this. I have to be an entrepreneur. I have to have my freedom. From the age of 14, 15, I didn't watch the news. I didn't look at any newspapers. I said, well, that's all nonsense. I don't believe that. Somehow internally, I recognized it's not resonating with me what they're telling about what's happening in the world and stuff like that. So what you hear from many people that they were going plant-based and something like that route. I never did that, because I was always heavy on the meat. I liked meat. I liked beef, um, bacon, eggs. No problem at all. My problem was that I was always combining that with carbs. Meat with pasta, meat with potatoes, meat with French fries, stuff like that. Um, Sometimes I had a little bit of green beans or broccoli, quiche, but always that was the exception. Um, and I worked with food supplements, so thinking that I was lacking vitamins and minerals because I didn't eat the greens, I took the supplements. So for years and years and years, I think I paid between 200 and 300 euros. I'm in the Netherlands, so we work with euros. Um, 200 and 300 euros of food supplements every month. Um, just wanting to be sure that I have all my vitamins and minerals and everything I was lacking because I wasn't eating greens. In I became more, well, I wouldn't say ill, but um, had more difficulty getting around in my life. Being, I stopped working out, I stopped doing sports when my daughter was born, so I was 40 at the time. And I blamed it on not doing the sports, being out of breath. Um, Joints were aching, not able to concentrate on doing my work. I blame that on, well, I have a baby, I have a toddler, I'm running around, I have my own company. All those outside aspects of life, I was blaming that. Well, when my daughter is more grown, I will have more energy. When this or that happen, I will feel better. Um, I was doing a lot of spiritual work to reconnect with myself, and still I wasn't able to look at myself and to really being honest with myself that I had a carb addiction and a sugar addiction, and that was causing all of my troubles. And then it became that my daughter was having health issues, and well, I was blaming that, not blaming my daughter, but hey, that's my life is tough at the moment, and it will get better. But it never did. It got worse and worse and worse. And then 2020 hit, and from the first day we heard something here in the Netherlands, I said, mm-mm, that's not correct. That's not my cup of tea. I'm not buying that. So intuitively, you know, I was on another track. But still, well, popping all the food supplements, trying to be healthy, and in that time, I ditched all the packaged food. I ditched the Coca-Cola I was drinking. I didn't take any of that. A friend of mine was diagnosed with diabetes too, and she said, I am going keto. I said, well, um, I can lose some pounds. I will go keto with you. But more of a support of her than doing it for myself. And during that time, I was feeling a little bit better, but I said it is a hassle for me. All the baking with the almond flour and prepping my own meals, and when I'm working outside of the home, um, I am at good places, always in good hotels. I'm a trainer for beauty estheticians and skin therapists, so I always have great lunches when I'm outdoors. And now I'm here with my own keto box, eating keto meals that I had to prep. I'm not doing this anymore. So I did that for a few months, and after that, I was done. Last 3 years, I became more and more ill, um, in such a way that I was, because of the COVID thing, um, I could give my trainings not in the country, in a hotel, but online. So I could do the training, and then my training was finished at 4 o'clock, and I was out. No energy. Inside, so cold. I couldn't heat my own body. I just had to go to bed, sleep most of the time, crying of the pain, and then went to sleep. And I had a daughter I had to take care of. Um, with my daughter very independent, but still, I'm the adult and she's a kid. So, but I couldn't do that. And one time I could barely get from my bed to the couch, laying on the couch, and then from the couch back to bed. Just from the pain, the exhaustion, not being able to stand longer than literally 5 minutes in the kitchen to prepare something to eat. And then my knees, my hands, my wrists, my everything was cramping up, inflammation all over the place. And a few months back, I was getting so angry at myself, at the universe, at God, at everything there was existing. And I just shouted out, I am done with this. Or you, whoever you are, is now showing me how I can heal myself because I have not a lot of knowledge. I, with the help of a health therapist, I cured my Hashimoto. I was no longer taking medicine for my thyroid. My blood work for the thyroid was okay. But my body was so much aching and I was depressed that I just shouted out, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. This is no way of living. Um, I'm surviving my whole life from a small child till now because of the trauma in my youth and then as a grown up for the physical and mental pains. And there's not ever a time that I would take my own life. It's nothing like that. But I said I just don't accept that I am here on Earth. I know I am able to be. Um, I have it in me to do greater things in life. I am here to shine my light into this world. And I really believe that. And now I can't because of the pain and I just the whole night I was crying in my bed and I said, well, I'm done. I'm really done. And the next day I was eating my oatmeal like I did every morning. I couldn't handle that. I had a stomach ache. Um, I was not feeling well. I was a little bit dizzy. I said, that's strange. I had oatmeal for years, just biological oatmeal with water and no sugar added, nothing. That is really strange. I said, well, apparently I can't eat oatmeal any longer. So I skipped the oatmeal. Yeah, what then do I need to eat? Well, I want to eat something in the morning. let's have some bacon and eggs. Because I love bacon and eggs, I love meat, so um, always looking for ways to simplify my life. And those days after that, it became more and more clear. I hardly ate any bread, but when I did, it gave me a stomach ache. It never did before, but it gave me a stomach ache. Um, I ate some fruits. It gave me a stomach ache. Okay, I can't eat that. I can't eat that. I can't eat that. So during the weeks passing by, I took out a lot of food. What remained? Bacon, eggs, beef. So I said, well, I guess I'm going carnivore. Because, of course, I heard of carnivore. Um, but I was not following anybody on the internet. I've never seen your videos. I never heard of Dr. Ken Berry or Dr. Anthony Chaffee or any of the great people we find now on the internet. I never heard of them. So I said, well, let's see if I can find something, because I was always into the science and into the literature. Let's see if I can find something give me the feeling that it's okay just to eat meat, because internally I knew it was okay, but somehow my brain needed the confirmation. And then I stumbled on first Dr. Ken Berry, then I found you, and then I found Anthony Chaffee, and then all the rest came. Since then, I heard all the great stories within a few days, within a few weeks. All my symptoms disappeared. In 4 weeks, I lost 20, 30, 50 pounds. That didn't happen for me. I felt better, and I noticed that instead of waking up 2, 3 times a night, I was just waking up 1 time a night. So that was improvement. I had less pain. That was improvement. Um, and now I'm on a carnivore diet for almost 2 months. So not very long. Um, and I still feel some flare ups from the inflammation in my joints. Not really when I'm eating something, because my diet is completely clear. I just ate beef, drink water, have my electrolytes, and well, that's it. So um, I no longer eat eggs or bacon, or just to see if I can improve some health issues a little bit quicker. Um, I lost 10 pounds, mostly water, especially in the beginning because I had a lot of edema. Not the lipid edema, but the just water retaining in my ankles, my feet, my hands. I couldn't wear my rings any longer, stuff like that. I had a very puffy face and a puffy neck, and that all went away. And what I noticed 2 weeks in, that I could breathe easier. I was always out of breath. I am somebody who is really had to learn to do things for myself with ease and grace. So, no cold turkey. I used to be that person with the sports, going all in, but not doing that anymore. Just step by step, really feeling what my body needs. Well, that is how I now approach my carnivore lifestyle.
Wow. So you're reading twice a day now?
It depends. I'm listening to my body. I do not have a real hunger feeling, like I feel it in my stomach. Oh, I need something to eat. No, I feel it that I am getting um, tired during the day, feeling in my muscles that and that can go very quickly. That one moment I'm just walking in the supermarket, and then boom, my energy goes down very quickly. Um, and I even can get a little bit dizzy, and then I know I'm too late with eating something. It feels like I just played a tennis match for 3 hours. So, no energy in my muscles. And I do a lot of fat. Um, I'm eating a lot of fat, as much as I can get into my body, making my own bone broth, having I eat butter. That is what I still do. So I eating a lot of butter with my steak, with my hamburgers, stuff like that. Yeah, some days it's 2 meals, some days it's 3 meals, depending on the day. There were some days in the beginning that because I don't feel the typical hunger feeling. Um, what I see associate with hunger feeling, I just ate one meal, just 2 or 3 hamburger patties, and that was it. I said, "Oh, that's that can't be enough. I know I have so much healing to do. I strongly believe that my body needs more than that." Um, so there was 1 week, 1.5 week, that I forced myself to eat more. Really forced myself to eat more. Not that I became nauseous from eating, but that I said, well, I really have to stuff myself. Always making sure that I have enough fat. So a little piece of steak, and then a lot of butter with that. A little piece of hamburger with a lot of butter, and yeah. So
How did you feel after that experiment?
well, I learned a lot because it gave me a sense of regaining trust in my own body and what my body is telling me. That my body can tell me what it needs, and besides of what my brain is telling me, because I know my brain can tell me all the lies. um, oh, but you're tired and you have to eat. Well, there must be some cookie, or my daughter loves baking pancakes and stuff like that. I will ask her to bake some pancakes. She likes doing that, and um, but then I said, no, that's my brain telling me the lies. That's my brain wanting me to be sick and be the small person I always kept my life. I always kept myself very small, not shining my own power and not shining my own light. And so I said, no, Um, and now even my 11-year-old daughter, who's always wanting to have meat, she said, "Well, first meat and then rest." From she was very small, um, and she loves to cook. So there are some days that I said, "Well, I don't have the energy, or I don't have the I just want to have something to eat," and I just ask her if she wants to make hamburger patties or bake a steak. "Oh, can I have some?" "Yeah, sure. You can also have some," and she will bake it, and with a lot of joy and happiness, and yeah, we will have that.
Awesome. So at this stage, do you feel like this is something that you will continue with?
Yes, absolutely. There is a part of it wanting. I want to keep eating like this because it simplified my life so much. I was always busy with my next meal, my next craving, my next never leaving the house without um, uh, um, a candy bar or something like that in my bag. Um, and now I just don't have to think. I know that my body can do without food for at least 24 hours. So if it's necessary, I just don't eat. Um, I am still very much healing, so I need my fats and stuff like that, but it's simplified my life so much. And um, I'm not thinking about food all the
Yeah.
day. Yeah, all day long.
That's when you've lived, and I'm speaking from experience here, when you've lived all your life with under that kind of cloud of always needing to have food and always thinking about what's coming next,
Yeah.
um, it's very empowering to get to this point where you feel like if I don't eat for 24 hours, it doesn't matter.
It's giving so much space for living. I really have trust in being able to live my grandest life, because now I have even still, with all the healing I still have to do, I have the mental capacity, but also the mental space for focusing on things I like to do, sharing everything I've learned, and um, well, even when I'm training and coaching people now for 30 years of doing food supplements and way of eating, I can now tell people, well, you can do it at two different ways: go in all the way, or do it like me. It took me 30 years, and 30 years is a long time, but step by step, removing. And I strongly believe um, that for me at least, it's a combination between the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. So every time I grow spiritually, um, I know the next step will be growing physically or growing mentally. So it's alternating. Yeah, I love. For me, that approach is working, and I love to share that with people. So especially. No, there's not one way. Just discover what is your way and what suits you. Yeah.
So when people see your way of eating, what is their reaction?
Hmm. Um, Especially in my work field, there are a lot of plant-based people. Um, Not all living as vegetarian or completely 100% plant-based. Some do some little bit of chicken or eggs or fish, or but always in small portions. So my surroundings, the people in my life, well, they find it crazy. And all the discussions of, but yeah, but you're killing an animal and eating that. And I said, well, I can tell you a story about the plants. Your plants have also consciousness, and you're killing the plants. Besides of all the toxins and the stories that plants can't run away like a cow can, so they have to have the toxins and all the stories about that, and the science behind that. Even to grow the plants, and I live here in a very, well, there's only farmers around me, so and most of them are growing plants. You have some discussions, but I just leave it at that. I said, well, you do what's good for you, what you think is good for you. I will do what I think is good for me, and I leave it at that.
So is meat expensive in the Netherlands?
Pooh, that depends where you're buying it. I don't buy any meat in a grocery store. I am buying my meat grass-fed, grass-finished, um, at a local farmer, and 1 hour away from here. And I pay around 9-10 euros for a pound of ground beef. When you have steaks, and that depend. There's no much different between the different kind of steaks, price wise. Um, it's all around, well, um, 20 euros, 25 euros for 1 kilo. So 2 pounds. Yeah.
I see. And in the Netherlands, are they trying to discourage you from eating so much meat, like the government?
Haha. Yeah. The meat, the in the supermarkets, the shelves with meat replacers. Well, it's all vegetables, seed oils and stuff like that, and other crap. Those aisles are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's a shame. But
Yeah, it is.
at least you can still get it. That's the most important thing.
Getting it is really easy
Mm.
because there are more and more grass-fed, grass-finished farmers, um, who you can buy your good quality meat. It's not cheap, but your good quality meat online, and they send it to your home completely deep frozen, and it's very easy. I have 3 or 4 farmers like that here in an area of or 1 hour driving. So
Karlijn, how can people get in touch with you? Do you have any social media or a website?
yeah, people can email me.
Sure. Well, I'll link to your email address in the show notes. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, Karlijn. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Dave. It was a pleasure, and I hope to that my story can inspire people